I know the other day you were talking about how the locker room is kind of a sacred place. What's your general message to the guys after the game today?
It's a sacred place, Matt. You just said it. I'm proud of the guys. They left it out there, and I'll just say I'm very proud of them. And um, give credit to Miami, give credit to Eric Spoelstra, the players. They did a fabulous job. A lot of respect for Miami and their program, their players, their coaches. So credit to those guys for what they did in this series and what they did tonight.
Eric, name?
After falling in the postseason last year, you guys largely came back with similar strategies and tactics, and you guys made some tweaks and adjustments, but falling in the postseason again, does it feel like you need to make more drastic changes to what it is that you guys do offensively and defensively going forward?
We just played a 5-game series, had a heck of an effort tonight, the way the guys competed and played. There's going to be time to look at and think, and I think we're always trying to find ways to get better, and we'll do that again. But right now we just had our season come to a conclusion, and just got to digest that.
In this game, obviously, you guys leaned on Chris a lot in Game 4. Had some jumpers that were short tonight. Obviously, I think you could see his legs were feeling that a little bit. How do you feel about his effort? And then, guys like Brooke and Eric that also played a lot.
Yeah, Chris laid everything out there. The whole group, they left everything they had. It's tough. They're trying to do everything they can for each other, moving, playing fast, defending, guarding, and you got to do it all. And I think Chris felt good. He actually never wanted to come out. So Bled, Brooke, they all did what we expected of them. They competed, they stayed together, they played together, and we couldn't get it done tonight.
Jeff Zilgett?
Do you think there was a discernible difference in the way you guys played in the restart compared to through March 11th, and maybe what you account for the difference in play? And was the 4.5-month layoff just a little bit too much for your team?
Well, the 4.5-month layoff for our team wasn't any different than any other teams that came here to Orlando to compete and try and be the last team standing. So we had a heck of a year, through March 11th, a lot of good things, a lot of positives, and we had our moments here in Orlando, but ultimately, we weren't able to get it done. So I think everybody's dealing with the same circumstances.
Eric Woodyard?
Coach, you've always been the guy to, accept responsibility, never run from excuses or anything like that. But do you feel like guys were, fully prepared just with everything that was going on outside the court, the social justice instances and everything like that? Do you feel like guys were fully prepared to really lock in mentally to play in the playoffs this year? Like, where do you see, like, guys' mindset, this year? Do you feel like they were where they needed to be?
Yeah, no, I think, there's no doubt that, every player, every coach, every team, every organization came down here with, two things that were important to them, and, keeping, the voice and the light, and fighting for social justice and all those things. We're not any different. Every team's been fighting for it. Everybody's been making it a priority, and then you got to go and win and compete and get your mind where it's supposed to be for the game. And I thought our guys did that. They're fully capable of doing both, and that's what's required of us today. And our guys' mindset, their focus, their effort, I can only commend them.
Sam Amick?
The one difference with your squad, you guys were the ones where George wasn't comfortable playing. The team ends up deciding not to play. I know you're not a psychologist, but do you feel like the team was able to recover from the uniqueness of that choice and the gravity of it and get back to playing the kind of ball they wanted to?
Yeah, and there's no doubt that was a big moment. We feel like, the entire league, all the players, our team, was on the right side of history, and for our group, it was significant. But I think it could if all of a sudden we played well and won a bunch of games, it could have been our rallying point, right? That would probably be the question if we'd won. I think both things are overplayed and overstated, and you got to go out and play. You got to defend. You got to rebound. You got to take care of the ball. You got to make shots, and you got to fight for social justice. You got to fight for things you believe in, and so certainly we were in the middle of it. It was significant, but it's just part of life. And I would say, it could have helped us and may have helped us. I know it helped us as humans.
Zora Stevenson.
Well, Coach, with Giannis getting Defensive Player of the Year, you knew he was going to be on an all-defensive team, but Eric Bledsoe, Brooke Lopez, it was announced before the game. Would you mind just speaking on, obviously, you've talked all season about what they mean to this team's defense, but what does it mean for you to see them get recognized for that? And were you able to recognize them in a group setting despite what happened today?
No, it was whispered in my ear probably 10, 15, 20 minutes before the game. So I did have that before the game, but my guess is Giannis, Brooke, Bled, if they know somebody has whispered it to them since the game ended. We haven't had a chance to acknowledge it as a group, but certainly there's a lot of things from this season that we will reflect on that were, hugely positive. Our defense and being, I think the #1 defensive efficiency team in the league again. Giannis on the first team, Brooke and Bled on the second team. It's a huge compliment to what they did the entire year, the respect they have around the league. And it's really, we want to be great defensively. And, we've done that on a consistent basis, and we got to continue that going forward.
Two more. Let's go to Kane Pittman.
Hey, Bud, I know pregame it was still up in the air a little bit. Giannis was out there getting some shots up. I was just wondering, I know that he would have been maybe pushing to play. Was that the case? Did you just have to say, listen, you are not okay to go? And then I guess it was the surprise of no one. He's such a competitor. But to see him standing up on the bench, cheering the whole game, I mean, what can you say about him?
Yeah, I'll maybe just touch on the end part there. Like, to see Giannis, I don't know, like, he's actually out there rebounding the ball during pregame warm-ups, and I think halftime, or one or both for sure. And, he's coaching and support his teammates. He is there for his teammates. And that's, to the first part of the question, to Giannis always wants to play. He's never going to pull himself. And, there was a plan today, and, we had to look and put our heads together and listen to Giannis, but listen to our sports performance group led by Troy Flanagan. And, ultimately John Horst is our GM and myself, and we couldn't let Giannis, go out there, and he's not ready. He's not healthy. We can't put him at risk. And Giannis would always play. He wants to be there for his teammates. So really, really hard for Giannis. But I think it was pretty clear from everybody, probably except for his perspective, what needed to happen.
Dan Woike.
But you guys might probably, kind of along Sam's question, maybe had the most unique experience of any team here. I know you said you need to digest things, but obviously disappointment in not being able to advance matched with the pride of what your team stood for. How does that sit with you? It seems like that'd be complicated.
It is. It's a hell of a question. I think what the team stands for, and I think the character, the humanity to stand and, be on the right side of history like we did, led by George and Sterling. And that was emotional. And, it's such a great group. I think, winning's important. We had high expectations starting the season, throughout the season, coming here. You always want to realize those expectations, but the relationships, the character, what this group did, I think it'd be great if you could have both. But, I think if you're going to choose one, I'd like to be with guys with high character and stand for something. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody that's here out there. Thanks.